Hello,
Hello, hello.
hello everyone. Hi Saqib, hi Harneet. How are you
Hello,
guys?
everyone. Hey, Saqib. Hey, Shan.
Hi
Nice to meet you
Shan.
again.
Thank you.
Nice.
Hi Shan. Hi Aneet. Thank you for inviting me. Very delighted to be here. Thanks.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you, Saqib, and thank you everyone for joining us from across the globe wherever you're joining from. Good morning, good evening, good night, and if you are catching up with the recording again, good morning, good evening, good night. Nice. So long time, Saqib. Like since we last met, it's been a while.
Quite quite some time. I would say easily 3 4 years. Like we have chatted a bit, but the video call, even the video call, it's been quite some time.
Yeah,
Great to connect with you.
nice.
How's life been? How's everything? I think a lot of things have been cooking on your side. Some major
Yeah.
shifts here and there.
Yeah, it's on, all three of us. Like, we have been having some major shift in the last 1 year or so, or
I
maybe
think
like,
shifts have been shifting here and there, I guess. We all have moved either the companies or I guess for you guys, it's been continents altogether.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, it's
nice.
been
Absolutely.
fun.
Big changes in past few years for me as well, and I know for Ishan as well. Yeah, it's good. I keep
Yeah,
following, so I've met Ishan sometimes back when we worked together in Australia. So it's we're friends of friends, and we used to sit in ServiceNow catch-ups and community catch-ups, or we had mutual friends. So whenever we are going, people whenever there is a group meetup going on, we would see each other. Great time and great memory. So I still
Yeah.
follow you quite a bit on the Instagram. So stay updated on everything. What's up?
Oh yeah, I forgot about it. Nice.
stepping into the personal lives now.
Oh no, not really.
No,
Okay,
sorry,
yeah,
just kidding.
sort of, but yeah.
Um, yeah, no, but Ishan and I guess it's the same thing as well. So I think we just did a live stream. I was about to say, Ishan, it's been a long time. We haven't done it, but I just remembered we did another one Monday this week.
Monday this week, yeah,
Yeah.
yes,
So
with above.
yeah.
Nice. All right,
That's
right. Let's right to start with the introductions. So maybe Harneet, you can go first, and then we can go on to Saqib.
Absolutely. Thanks, Ishan. And again, thanks everyone who's watching us. And it's a pleasure to be here on this show and then sharing our information, the knowledge that we have. My name is Harneet. I'm the platform architect at Volpe. I've been in the ServiceNow ecosystem for about 9 years. I'm also a certified technical architect, and I've been MVP for last 2 years. So what that basically means is I love to share things that I've learned, in the course of time back to the community. I love answering questions back on the community. We also do these sort of live streams, basically helping people learn new things that have come up on the platform, or things that you can do on the platform. But yeah, that's just me, and really interested on the ServiceNow platform overall. Over to you, Ishan.
Nice.
nice.
Thank you, Harneet. And yeah, myself, Ishan. I'm a ServiceNow certified technical architect and a ServiceNow MVP for my community contributions, and I've been with the platform for about 7-ish years now. And yeah, just love the way that it's going. Just love working with the platform. Automating and solving our clients' use cases, business cases that they have. And today we have Saqib. So let's go on to Saqib.
Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate the welcome. So my name is Saqib, and I've been in ServiceNow industry for around a decade now, roughly 9 to 10 years. Before that, I was involved in a different ecosystem, mostly Android and embedded computing. But since I joined ServiceNow, I think there's no looking back. Earlier, when I started, I got a great opportunity to be part of service line solutions in Australia. So I got some great mentors there, namely Grish and KP. So from there, my ServiceNow journey started, and due to their help and the opportunities I was getting there, I was able to quickly learning a lot of ServiceNow concepts, completed different implementations as was work because there was a large volume of work at that time. Great demand. It's still ServiceNow is in great demand, but at that time it was picking up. Not many partners ecosystem was established at that time. So I had an opportunity to work on multiple clients. That's how my experience in ServiceNow continued growing. Then I switched to a management consulting firm. There I got a chance to learn around different aspects, what goes beyond or behind the ServiceNow implementations. From there, bit of projects on contract level. Work with some organizations in United States. Some were like in medical technology service provider. So combined, I've worked with around, I would say, 15 to 20 different enterprises, large scale and mid scale, and have completed implementations, enhancements, integrations, overall anything to empower the organizations using
Great.
the help of ServiceNow uh, for like around 9 to 10 years. That's a bit about me. Now I am part of Osterick, which is a principal. So I'm a principal consultant at Osterick. So what at Osterick, what we do is we leverage the capability of ServiceNow and enable organizations to scale faster, better, and with confidence by automating systems, improving the service desk, and also like breaking the silos. So that's a bit about me. So everything around ServiceNow we cover.
Nice. Thank you, Saqib.
That is
And I think we've already, started. You've already started with our topic for today. With like you just said, breaking the silos, and the topic that we are here to talk about is, how can single platform help with the enterprise growth, cohesive enterprise growth. So yeah, I mean, would you like to start with,
Absolutely.
talking about it in a bit of more detail?
Absolutely. So this again goes back to why I stick to ServiceNow before I was like involved in multiple technologies, because this cohesive enterprise growth, when you work on ServiceNow, you realize how marvelous it is. Uh, what benefits it brings a company. It improves the collaboration between departments. I haven't seen any tools that does it so marvelously. There are, but before we go into the topic, I would like to sort of step back a bit and like to discuss some more about what a cohesive enterprise is and what is the opposite of the cohesive enterprises. What's a typical enterprise, how they operate when they are like not operating in that environment. So if you don't mind, can I please take on this cohesive one?
Yeah, yeah,
That's great.
sure. Anything. It's a penalty free. And yeah, please.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. So cohesive enterprise is basically where the teams are connected to each other. They are not working within like their own silos. There is a scalability across the teams. Now, this word is like you might have heard it quite sometimes in the ServiceNow ecosystem, and it's a very core of all the implementations that we do. And for the ServiceNow, that the silo. So what is the silo? It is like the teams are working within their own a specific department. There's a restriction. The data is not integrated. The processes are not integrated. So there is like reduce like increased friction between the operations across multiple departments. That's a typical when we say when the things are not like working in the silo. The other part of this, or the other side of the siloed organization, is a cohesive enterprise. The teams are bonded together, the data is integrated with each other, processes are integrated with each other. uh, there's a combined or comprehensive dashboards which can detect or spot the bottlenecks within the processes. So that's a cohesive enterprise in general. There are benefits and disadvantages of each processes. Majorly, the cohesive enterprise has major benefits, but I'll gonna come to that in a moment. But Ishan and Harneet, what do you guys think about this? Would love to hear your thoughts as well.
Ishan, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I was gonna say the same. Yeah,
Okay. Now we are
yeah,
two birds singing the same song.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. I think. Always. So I'll go on to the next part of what are the benefits of cohesive enterprise. So generally in a siloed organization or the siloed departments, the teams are working with isolated systems. right?
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
is no collaboration. The efficiency decreases when the people are working together. So the thing is, what cohesive enterprise enable is that systems would be integrated. There will be connected processes, unified. The team would be like a unified team working towards a one goal. And towards a functional level, people would be, or the team members, they would be highly synced with each other. And what you say, how to define, they would be resonating in high decibels towards a similar organizational goals, rather than every department having, in this cohesive enterprise, all the organizations or the departments will gonna have their goals and metrics and KPIs, but they will gonna combine, they will be targeting or focusing towards the same organizational growth parameters or the organizational goals. So that's a bit of in that area what this topic suggests.
I think that's
So
a really good point. And when you started talking about, different departments using different applications, the majority of the problems that we have seen, and I've been in the service-based organizations, so I've actually worked with, clients, a lot of clients where they've got problems such as these. So, you've got ESG, you've got, let's say, your GRC sort of a thing, you've got your ITSM stuff, you've got HRSD. Now, assume all of these things are happening in different platforms. I think, bringing back the concept of cohesive platform here, now four different teams working in silos. They've got individually, all of these four systems have got their own goals, and I guess, OKRs and stuff like that, which all drills up to what organizations' needs are or what the organization's end goals are. But imagine doing all of this in a single platform. And now we may start talking about, ServiceNow can't do this, ServiceNow can't do that, but we've actually come across different scenarios where, all of these enterprise related applications can at least be integrated into the platform, or it can actually be self-served by ServiceNow in itself. So I mean, I think, we can talk about different scenarios as such. So we can talk about legal now. ServiceNow is also coming up with industry level solutions, right? So you've got manufacturing, you've got finance solutions, you've got
telecom.
healthcare solutions, telecom. Exactly, these are really huge. So like bringing all of that stuff into ServiceNow gives you all of those things. I think, Saqib, you really started talking about that bit as well. So, giving that visibility across. So you've got data coming through from all of these different products. You're building the OKRs, which is again at an organizational level, everything in ServiceNow, and then you build dashboards, or you build different KPIs at the top of it. Now, and again, automations and integrations, I guess ServiceNow can do all of that. So when I started my career, I always felt it's a platform, well, it's a tool, but when people started talking about it as a platform, that's when I realized, why it's called a platform, because you can do so many stuff on it. It's actually an enterprise platform. So bringing all of them together in a single platform gives you all that very easily.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And I mean, like this reminds me, like, even if not, it's not like a use case. Like, this reminds me of CTA capstone, right? Like the sovereign bank, like, case study that a lot of a lot of us have already seen, right? So they were having different systems. Like, few things are
Correct.
CIR. A very basic example here to explain this, how a single system can help, right? So discovery is happening on Excel sheets. There's no service mapping. A lot of outdated data is there. Things are scattered across. It's basically a spaghetti architecture at many times, right? And that's where um, even if we are not you know, taking away all the other platforms or all the other tools that we are using in the organization, like if we put ServiceNow in the center, right, and drive everything around it, it it just it can be like really smooth, right, and it can solve a lot of those problems.
Absolutely.
So
Well said, greatly. There's one more thing that this service now brings in, the agility to, what do you say, to the transformations. Now the integration is possible, absolutely. That there are multiple systems. Each departments have different systems working on. Systems could be integrated, but then the conversation when you start any initiative, it completely changes. It flips. That I'm sure you would have better insights into that. That what sort of integration protocols are available in each of those systems. What values to map. For
yeah,
example, if you just talk about the HRSD and ITSM, just integrating those, the moment if the systems are already cohesive, like it's a single platform and it's a service now because it gives both the functionality, the topic would gonna switch, like what sort of functionalities we are bringing on, like what's the onboarding life cycle or the process should look like, how the onboarding should transfer it to the asset departments and to the IT services desk. This should be the primary topics or on the initial discussions. However, when the systems are getting integrated, I believe this is, and please correct me if I'm wrong, the discussion starts with the functionalities, but then it gets lost somewhere around. Is it even possible to integrate the system? Things are like more technical. The timing to deliver the value to, like the time to value, that reduces sort of significantly when you are in the single system. These problems doesn't occur. What do you guys
Exactly.
think about it?
Yeah,
Absolutely, because then there's no point of failures because if all of that data, all of that information actually exists in the same platform, you're not integrating, and there could be obviously lags as well because if you are integrating with different applications to bring that information over or exporting information out of service now to build those, um, reports of a platform, I guess, all those points of failures can happen, slowness can be there. Now, everything being in the platform just makes and makes things easier from an enterprise perspective as well. Saves money as well, I'm sure.
100%.
yeah,
100% management of, like cost, like managing all the different
yeah,
platform. That's another, I think
yeah,
it's definitely adds a significant cost.
yeah. Many times, like we the customers have to have, like, if they want to manage a platform, they will have a resource for each of the applications. Okay, SAP one admin, ServiceNow one admin, like, then maybe SuccessFactor, Workday, each of them, they've got their own resource, own team, own training. And like, if we can put this around one single platform, I'm not saying like we can just take off everything 100% away, even though
Exactly.
like maybe we can, right? But just like, we don't have to do that. So but still, it's again, a man, like, overhead for the management, right? Managing some resources, building the team. So I was recently at one of our customers, right, and they have bought the platform. Now they've got a lot of stuff. They've also bought lot of modules, ITOM, ITAM, ITSM. Now there's a lot of resistance. Like, people don't want to move. Again, that's a different story. Like, maybe OCM or something. We'd not talk about it here, but that happens, right? Like, people don't want to move away from the way they were
Correct.
doing things, even if it's better for the good, right? So things like that. So, and
That's a
now,
very good topic.
yeah, I mean, we can have a second or conversation on that.
Absolutely.
I'm not touching that again.
Yeah,
But,
absolutely.
so, but yeah, look, those sort of things, like, it's I mean, like, now they have built up a service now practice. Like, the thing that was coming was like, they've built out a service now practice. They've got like 10 or 12 resources of service now, but people are resisting to, we don't want to get away. Like, we do a thing in a certain way. And and again, I can, just keep speaking about this because I saw some really good good customizations in instance. So I'll, park it for another time. So yeah. And the other thing is, like, Saqib, to your point, like, how can we have those conversations then happen, like, okay, we'll be using service now for so education, and then again, been there and that. I'm sure, Haneet, you would have been there as well, right? In these situations when we want to integrate, and then when we come on to technical discussions, okay, so we cannot have a REST integration. We can only send a Excel file, right? Uh,
Exactly.
and that's where ServiceNow again fits the purpose, right? We have got that, like, we've got n number of ways we can integrate. Uh, Integration hub, REST, so name it, right? And mid server, like, if it's on, we can, if it's like a legacy system, nothing is available, there's also flat files. So a lot of ways that those integrations can happen.
Absolutely, completely agree. ServiceNow itself offers great integration capabilities, and now So definitely there will always be systems which are doing specific tasks that ServiceNow is not the best fit to perform those operations. Bringing those to ServiceNow is amazing, but the capabilities which I would suggest that ServiceNow supports, for example, HRSD, customer services management. Now, if you have an enterprise which is using the ITSM, having the same platform to implement the CSM would gonna offer great advantages over going to another system which is offering the same capability, because in that aspect integration, like integrating the system, will gonna just create overhead on the like multiple challenges across the things could be done much more effectively within the service now. And uh, there's one more topic I think important if we can discuss on this one, that why service now, why not another system. you know
Yeah.
Really good
I'm
question.
suggesting that bring CSM to IT, like to service now when you have don't integrate it. But there needs to be a reason. I am very confident, I am sure about the reasons. I can go in whenever you guys suggest, if that's a topic you would like to navigate towards.
No, I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
that's definitely a good question because I've never thought outside of that because I've been on ServiceNow platform for all my life and I love the platform. So anybody asks me, can you do this on ServiceNow? Yes, I can. I mean, we can, obviously. There's no other way. I mean, obviously other platforms can do it. May or may not be able to do it, but I think, yeah, Shakib would love to listen about why should it be ServiceNow?
Now the thing is, ServiceNow, first of all, let's start with how much ServiceNow puts
Oh,
into
sorry.
R&D. Like, yeah.
Can I stop you for a minute? I'm so sorry to cut you there, but I think there was a question that was posted in the chat. I think we should just cover it before we
Yeah.
move on to the next topic, if that's
I
okay.
think this is Kali, if I'm not wrong, right? So
Yes,
100
she
days of
is.
service now. Yeah.
Nice to have you here, Kali.
So, Saqib, when you talk about breaking silos
Yeah.
and conversation, imagine you work closely with customers, enterprise sector. What personas do you mostly engage with?
So mostly we engage with the business unit heads that we work with. Then it comes to the architect level. First, we understand what challenges they are facing within their department or within the processes. First, we identify the challenges. Then that starts their conversation starts with the business unit heads, and then all the stakeholders which are part of that particular process. Then we work with the architect to devise a solution. We have got a solution architect, marvelous Ishan, you know him very well. So we work with him to closely understand and design a solution which is scalable and we're gonna last uh, like it for a longer duration. It won't be like we are just applying a workaround, but carefully drafting that aligns well with the future organizational goals.
Yeah.
Then we come to get it approved, align everyone, and like all the stakeholders have aligned. Then we come to the implement. So majorly personas are the business unit heads, architects. Then there are some interviews involved with the users as well. For example, if it's a ITSM, particularly if you are a basic example, revamping the service desk experiences, like let's say we would like to integrate some of the work that is done manually with the Active Directory. Then, of course, we take the interviews, conduct the interviews with the service desk team members as well. That what challenges they are facing, how they would like to see improvement. These are across the performance that during the implementation that come across. I hope I have answered the question what you were looking for. If not, please let us know. We would love to elaborate further.
Thank
Right.
you, Shakib.
Always, thanks.
Yes.
So yeah, we were going towards the why ServiceNow, why not another platform. So first of all, ServiceNow has always stayed ahead since like the early days. It's top of the industry trend. Whatever is going on, there's AI coming up. ServiceNow has got the AI capability. There's a digital transformation coming up. ServiceNow are built to bring digital transformation in your organization. That's their like core bread and butter. So all these, so any challenges, any new trend coming up within the enterprise, ServiceNow stays on top of it. And there is one more, like just gonna share a quick fact here, fun fact. So last year ServiceNow revenue was around $8.7 billion. Now ServiceNow spent on R&D was around 24.5%. That equates to around $2 billion in research and development. So
Nice.
there's a rigorous, research and development that goes across the service now, whether it's in terms of the latest processes that are required to for the the industry leaders, or if it is the tools and technologies and the concepts that needs to be brought on. I haven't seen ServiceNow anything in ServiceNow which cannot be delivered in my entire decade of experience. There's always a good way to implement it. Like there could be some drawbacks of not going, or some decisions of not going that way. But that's one of the reason. I would say the other reason would be the security aspect. ServiceNow has been a very secure platform since its early days. If you go and understand the the CVE database, or like inspect the CVE, the common vulnerabilities and exploits database, you would see it's all green. Never heard any news of major breaches. There was a news circulating that some KB articles were like released, but that's mainly because of poor implementation, or it wasn't. I'm not like putting any blames here, but ServiceNow actually offers the health check and the security scans on your instance. Generally, whenever you run it, if anything is not implemented properly, so security specs is like top notch in ServiceNow. That's another thing.
Mm.
The low code, no code platform capability
Yeah.
that brings agility, at at a great level. I'll quickly share an example if you guys don't mind, that we did for a company in mining industry. uh, so sometimes the requirements needs to be implemented very promptly. Now, how I'll give you a bit of a context how critical the mining industry operations are. So the mining industry, Australia being one of the largest producer of the iron ore, and very huge mining industry there, majorly in Perth. So across like 150 200 kilometers away from Perth, there is mining sites where they extract the ores from. Now the machines, then the 30 feet or 40 feet trucks, or the vehicles or the machine that we used to see earlier, they are we definitely all would have seen. Now they have all become autonomous. They are controlled by a tower, or a command center across Perth, or some distance away. So it's a very critical industry, and everything that is going there relies on the network communication devices, equipments, and everything, all those sort of things. So we got a challenge that they were switching to ITOM for the visibility of all their network structure, and timely reporting them to the service desk team via incidents. So we got this requirement. Now, if any of this device is having a failure, it could have disastrous effect on the teams there, operations let alone. But because these machines are autonomous, there a lot of explosives are involved as well, while they would like to free up the iron ore from the ground and all those sort of things. There's a requirement that people, whenever the operations are going on, people need to be communicated that you have to move away 600 meters from there, all the machinery. So all these devices, the network communications, super critical to be timely informed on. Now, when this shift was coming up, the major challenge was how to sort of swiftly implement this, so the service desk team is always aware and capturing all the integration. Just because of ServiceNow, we were able to deliver it in record time, 4 to 6 weeks. We integrated all their ITOM events which are coming in, applied the threshold filtering, so no wrong. So service desk queues are not
Mm.
clogged up with the wrong events. So applied the thresholds and applied on the service desk. So this integration now, it might appear simple, but there are so many aspects of integrating with a third party system here, let alone the criticality of the industry and the event, the volume
Mm.
of the events. But we have considered other platforms that that were a participant of implementing thing, but I think no one was coming near to how ServiceNow was benchmarking to achieve this. These are some of the I think very near and dear to me, these parameters. But I would love to hear your thoughts on that as well.
This sounds amazing, Saqib. This example, also gives us the way, it's also not just, doing what it's supposed to do, but it also is very critical on what should happen and when it should happen. And if it doesn't happen, it can have, again, as you said, disastrous effects. So and service now solving these sort of problems as well, rather than the standard workflows we see in usual day to day. It's, I mean, I'm just blown away right now. So feels amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone gonna have such, like, generally service now always bringing up or improving the impact is huge. Like whenever you're working the service now, it either improves the lives of customers or the service desk team member or field workers, field team members. So whenever, absolutely, I'm glad that we could align, but totally completely agree with you as well that it's marvelous of what results service now bring and improve so many lives in so many different levels.
Yeah. Nice.
I think staying ahead of its time. I think that's the topmost reason for me. I guess out of everything that you've listed there, Shakib. I guess obviously I do relate back to the no code, low code stuff as well because I'm a very pro um, believer of that. But being ahead of its time, I've seen like ServiceNow growing in every aspect, and they're always ahead of their time as well. So like, talking about stuff like GenAI. So I think when they launched stuff around GenAI, their SKUs, I think they've just been growing massively. I've seen different other platforms because yeah, I've got like yeah, my wife's in Salesforce as well, so I've seen them growing in their platform, and then comparing that with how ServiceNow is growing, and obviously Workday is growing, bringing in or investing all that money. I think Shagab, you had a really good point there. Talking about how much ServiceNow has done an investment in their R&D
Mm.
sort of a team. Right? That basically gives you that confidence that the company itself believes in growing the products that they have come up with. Bringing out the best industry standards that are there out there, trying to bring them into the ServiceNow platform. Because I think when everybody started talking about ChatGPT, I think it was the same year at Knowledge, ServiceNow had a lot of things being launched in that area. So just imagine they were like, I mean, obviously to build these sort of things, to have that LLM built in the back end, I guess it would have taken almost a year or two. So they were actually thinking about it when people started talking about ChatGPT out of blue. ServiceNow was there.
Already
Everybody's
there,
talking
yeah,
Yeah.
about
absolutely.
Yeah.
ChatGPT. Here's something that you can do with ChatGPT, writing code. It's as simple as that, but nobody actually thought that it could be a use case as well. And they're bringing all the information that they have because they're so big, helping the customers out with all that information at the back of it. I mean, I love that part.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
And on,
It's yeah.
yeah.
Please, Ishan, continue. Sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt.
on the low code, right? On the low code, no code. Many. I have a small example to share as well. So, like we usually what see, we see is like low code, no code would be someone, we have to train them. Okay, so you build this application, build this form. But I was doing a agent implementation a couple of years back, and we were short of time, short of resources, like many times. You know, uh, Time is a problem, and then resources are also in crunch in service now industry every time. So we were implementing NLU and virtual agent, at one of the major banks in Australia, and then like their services team, they were the best ones. So we have for the NLU, we needed for them to come back. So what sort of questions come to you in while you used chat? So previously they were using agent chat, and they were moving to live agent when we were implementing this, and they were the best ones, right? So what we did was we just gave them dedicated developer role, a small thing, right? Just told them, see, like whatever utterances that, I mean, whatever questions that you get, this is the place, this is the place where you need to enter them, and you just need to click train model, and try it out in the portal. How it returns back the result. How do you like it? And I think 10 or 15 members were there. Everyone added their own utterances. I need a laptop, password reset, blah blah, VPN not working, And this small effort, because I was, building the stuff as well. The only thing I did, even though it was a non-prod, I exported all those utterances, and they were already set up. Trained the model. The services was already happy, right? And it saved a lot of time. Again, it sounds like it's a very small piece, but having those utterances from them, and that back and forth, going to them, coming back, giving that small, they were like, citizen developers for me. They did the work that I was supposed to do, right? I mean, it's not building anything, but even that small piece is a part of citizen development. So
Big impact.
yeah,
Small development or small
Beautiful.
sort of a bit, but imagine the impact it created for the actual users who are
yeah,
going to use it.
yeah.
It's pretty big.
Actually, value creation in service, anything you do it in service now, I think the value creation is enormous. And yeah, I think it's just, as Harneet and Ishan, you guys mentioned, small but yeah, big impact. Totally.
Yeah.
Saqib,
So
so I
yeah,
think,
yeah.
sorry.
No worries, please carry on.
So I think you said you have got 10 years of experience on the platform, right? And I'm sure you would have come across difficult customers as well. So how do you define success in service now? So firstly, like what's the definition of success to say, the customer is successfully live? And how do you then, I guess the word would be
Achieve,
get more
achieve,
out of it? Yeah,
get
basically.
the value, achieve success. Like,
Yeah.
I think the definition of success for a very general context would be to deliver impactful results, which are like either financially impactful or operationally impactful, because that's what ServiceNow does. That would be a general aspect of what a success is considered, in my opinion, within the how I take it. It could differ like if client to client, it differs the approach and the implementation, the outcomes, it differs enormously. But that's the first topic that we discuss, that what's the outcome does the business or the business unit head or the other stakeholder would like to get out of it. If we have achieved that, then that is like a success for us. It's a sort of a starting point of success for us. I think let's wait for Ishan. Is it just for me, or does he appears to have
And
dropped off?
no, I think he must be around, but I think yeah, sometimes yeah, it's the it's the internet connectivity or lag sometimes. But he'll be back. Oh, there he is.
yeah. Arnie this is used to this. Like he must be around. Yeah, I was around.
Oh, okay, perfect. Sorry. No, I was
Sounds
used
good.
to
I'm
this, but
new
I
to
wasn't
this,
No,
sure
that
but
like
was
yeah,
it was
right
me happening this
actually.
time.
I was around. I was listening. Listening. All right.
I'm mostly
Awesome.
used to team's behavior. When
Yeah,
someone
yeah,
has disappeared, that means he has gone. Let's wait for that. But yeah, it's good to know.
Stream is slightly different. Yeah, it's we've got like I guess what's it called like the background backstage,
yeah, yeah.
so
Backstage.
people can actually be just backstage for a minute, like exactly like Ishan's
That's
just vanished
that's
now, just like
that's
a
a good.
magician.
Yeah.
That's
Awesome.
nice.
Sorry, Shakib, please continue.
So we're talking about, so it differs like scenario to scenario, but overall creating operational or financial impacts for a customer. Uh, like recently we did a project where we understood, and that was only possible, I would say, again, because the customer was in service now. We had to identify why the onboarding process was like, how can we improve the onboarding process. Now it might seems like that's an HR onboarding, but the onboarding process, if you look in terms of an organizational goal, that starts with the talent management or resource management, then comes to the onboarding, then goes to the asset management, then goes to the service desk, a lot of parameters in there. So it was taking a long time to understand why things are slowed, because of this capability that the cohesive platform, cohesive enterprise strategy was utilized using ServiceNow. We put some dashboards with the help of performance analytics. We first understand where the bottleneck is, what things are are creating the duration, or sorry, the delay in the whole process. And the automated couple of, so that's where we decide whatever outcomes are. So then we understand we have to improve it. We did an estimate that let's integrate couple of systems. One of those systems was the asset management, was actually, so the assets were being managed by a third party provider. So that piece, so we found out that because of the miscommunication or the lack of communication in that area, it was creating around 3 to 4 days of delay. So we spotted those parameters, then find out what the improved timeline would gonna look like, check with the business that is this an achievable, or would you like us to go even further. So business was okay with that, because generally a good implementation always starts with, I would say, a step by step process. You do a pilot, you improve things significantly in an agile way, in an agile concept. So I think we improved the whole onboarding process by around 7 to 8 days, which was like more than 60% of improvement in that. So that's one example how we measure success. I hope I have
Yeah.
answered your question, Andy.
Absolutely. Absolutely, you did. I think that mentioning about different departments working together, right? So you've got your HR systems, your IT systems working together, and I think a classic example that I have come across is the facilities teams. And again, this is, I mean, again, we sometimes don't even think about it, but imagine we all three are joining an organization and they don't have enough desks in that organization, right? So onboarding, perfect. So we've got onboarding timelines reduced to 3 days. Saqib is really happy. Ishan is really happy. I'm really happy. But the first day when I go into the office, I don't have a desk to sit on. So onboarding journey
Yes.
is slightly different from just the HR or the IT process, but it's also say it could be a legal process. It could also be it could be a facilities process. ServiceNow just sticks them all together. So it could just be an email that's sent out. So you don't need to actually raise a facilities case to say, okay, we've got 10 joiners coming up on this day. But it could just be an email notification as a report out of this onboarding process to send them and say, okay, these are 10 different resources who would be coming in on this day because that's when their onboarding is. I think trying to iron out any of these siloed processes through an automation or through with just any of the things that are available out of the box with the platform, I guess just delivers a really good success story. I mean, that's what I
Absolutely.
feel as well.
Yep.
Well said. Well said. Very well said. There's one more thing I find very amazing about ServiceNow is the small modules which comes under the big subscription. For example, if you are going with the ITSM Pro, there comes a continuous improvement management module or an application with it. Now it makes it's a cherry on top of your current subscription. Now with that you have got the incident management and change management, improved integration and everything. But like CIM continues, how it's marvelous that how the organizations manage the initiatives and keeps a continuous growth
Yeah.
within across the departments on that as well. So every different modules, for example, like HRSD would gonna come with the document management, so the HR teams don't have to get lost within the document management. Like they are doing the onboarding within the system, but document management goes sideways. Then the signature pad, I think the utility, separate utility of the signature pad. So how things connect on top of your existing subscription, that's another marvelous, that I would say the reason to start implementing on ServiceNow for towards a cohesive enterprise growth. Again, the topic of the today. One of the reasons, as I will gonna keep, as some things are gonna pop up, I'm gonna keep sharing. I hope you guys don't mind. Yeah, that's
No,
another area I
absolutely.
wanted to share.
Nice.
And I think on top of this goes the SC portal. I
Oh
guess
yeah,
sometimes we just don't talk about it because it's not like an industry level solution, like an IDSM or HRSD solution. But you can basically replace your intranet site, the organization wide site, with your ServiceNow ESC portal. So you can have, let's assume Ishan's a manager and he approves stuff in Workday as a to do, right? So we can bring those to dos into ServiceNow platform because you've obviously got an active integration there. You can just approve stuff from ServiceNow, just goes into Workday and approves it. You can manage your time offs. All of this is out of the box. So whatever I'm about to say now, it's all out of the box. It's just available as a spoke. You've got active integrations with financial applications as well. So if there are financials or timesheets you've submitted and needs to be approved by the managers, obviously it all can come through my integrations into ServiceNow ESC portal. You just approve it. So for me, if I need to find information or if I have certain actions to take, I don't need to go to three different applications. I know I need to land it on the ServiceNow portal. I know there's news, there's knowledge articles, I can raise requests. And then obviously I've got everything that I need to do as well. So there's the whole lot of to-dos from Workday. We've got finance stuff that's coming into the ServiceNow platform as well. The timesheets that needs to be approved. So you know, different products, but at the top of it, there's an experience layer. So giving that experience layer to the employees is basically what sells. I mean, I don't know. What are your thoughts,
absolutely.
Arishan?
Yeah. Like, I mean, I totally agree with it, Harneet, right? And like, it's a pain in itself to
Absolutely.
log into different and getting emails from different systems. And totally agree with the fact that how in just one system can solve all the problems. So like we're all busy throughout the day, right? And like if we, let's say I have to approve timesheets, I have to look at a few tickets, like maybe laptop request, keyboard, whatever it can be, right? Asset request we have. I just log into system. I see like here are your pending items.
Correct.
Just in like maybe few minutes or 15 20 minutes, I'm done with everything, approving, rejecting, even submitting my own timesheet, right? So
Exactly.
like I have used different systems, and like I am that guy like who doesn't like submitting timesheets anywhere outside of service now. So because I find it simple for some reason, maybe because I work on the platform again. So, right?
Again, having a cohesive platform is actually a success.
Yeah,
Everyone. And Ishan, you were mentioning about the user adoption challenge that you were facing, that the team members are not willing to join in service now. I think ESC, it solves the problem. It can like significantly help in resolving the user adoption problem, because generally, so in other systems it's a similar view that there are different systems, you have to go to the different URLs. And earlier in service portal, like the previous version of ESC, it used to be a similar experience. But now with ESC, that has completely changed. All your systems, all your processes would be within a single portal.
yeah,
That could be, I think, another add-on that might help in the adoption on that. I thought of just sharing. Yeah, marvelous. ESC, yeah, another great. It's a good like revamp as well. It's a good nice look and feel upgrade that we have got on the ESC as well. The new widgets they keep releasing is another pretty nice.
yeah. And we have not touched, like we were talking about the business side of things, customer side of things. Again, service now also takes care of people who are working on the platform, like maybe developers, business analysts, be business process consultants, and architects, right? So recently so there was a studio, like I'm sure all of us have seen and worked on that, created some custom application tables. And then there was App Engine Studio, which was a little bit different from the studio. Now they have actually revamped the studio. They have released a new version of studio with everything in one single pane. So with you know someone who is working on the platform, he has there's no need for him to navigate to anywhere else. Like he wants to create an app, build a flow, everything is in single pane. Again, I haven't tried it out. I'm speaking out a few features that I've seen floating on LinkedIn and the documentation, but you know things like that. So developers also, they also, so someone like me, I don't want to be in a stagnant position just working on one thing and getting bored out of it. So again, that being said, I started my career with career with the BMC Remedy. So everyone who know BMC Remedy can relate how slow and laggy it was back then. So yeah, those sort of things as well, right? So it keeps on growing on you. Yeah,
Absolutely, 100% agreed. And it's a new feature packed functionality. Like they give a UI upgrade as well, but it's
yeah,
always a feature packed functionalities as well.
yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
So
Shakib, I guess maybe the last question on this stream today. How excited are you about the new things that are coming out from the Gen AI space? I guess I don't know if you've been following the new releases, but stuff like um, the now assist features for the developers. Maybe we could talk about that, or now assist features for different areas on the platform. How excited are you, and what do you want to like see in the futuristic space? Maybe launch a missile out of service now, but what do you expect out of service now in future?
So that let's first talk about the backend. The how the fulfiller users or the admins, they will be interacting it with it. Now to generate, I haven't so it's a confusing topic. Multiple areas here. First, if you are generating the dashboards and reports, super awesome, marvelous, great there. But I prefer, while the developing, I'm designing my catalogs. I prefer a flexibility to design it myself, personally myself, because then I can take care of the layouts and all the positioning single column, multiple column, how will it be presented? I can have a thinking about the user experience while I'm designing those catalogs in my head. While I'm working on it, I can take care of it. With AI, I don't think so it will be able to take care of those that many aspect in this particular regards of designing the catalog. And after that, like if once it is created, modifying that would be a bigger, greater challenge than to start at scratch and apply those user experience factors within the catalog. For dashboard parts, amazing. Just for the catalog building part, I think I would be slightly hesitant to use it. Yeah, for development purposes, writing codes and designing the flow designer, if anything comes on it, like that would be super awesome. Like flow designer would be super awesome.
Yeah,
Otherwise, when you're moving the activities here and there, that's quite an effort you have to play. But yeah, all the other areas, I think apart from catalog, it would be a great addition. In terms of business use cases, I think CSM is already seeing great potential, or like the uses of the interaction, like since the early days when it used to do the sentiment analysis. I think that has resulted in great understanding of the customer sentiments and allowing the ability for the customer services team member to resolve based on those sentiments or the questions and the prompts or the inquiries that the user is prompting. A lot of time summarizing that helps a lot, giving the option to the either the end users within the company or the customers via the virtual agent, which is sort of, as you mentioned, Haneet, experience layer that drastically reduces the load on the service desk queue member. Now they can actually put more like their what do you say, their efforts are more inclined towards
more
what is it,
meaningful.
more
uh,
strategic and meaningful
Yeah,
activities rather than redundant tasks that a knowledge article could have solved. But generally the thing is, people don't used to go visit knowledge articles that much, but now they are more willingly. This is a customer behavior that we have observed, that the same information I've given on the KB articles, the likelihood of person visiting is very low as compared to a chat box or a virtual agent giving the answer on the service desk. So yeah, these impacts even for the field service manager, I think field service team on the ground, that's a great help there. That's my 2 cents on that area. What are your thoughts on that? I would love to hear, because I'm sure you guys stay ahead on in the previous discussions as well on the technology trends that ServiceNow is adopting. Sure, you're gonna have better understanding on that as compared to me.
I mean, I'm a big promoter of things that comes as automations. Again, the reason being, if somebody else can do that for me, like imagine me having a free assistant. There are things like I want them to do an email for me. I won't want them to, set up the meetings for me. Now imagine a similar sort of an assistant in an actual ServiceNow world. I'm an agent. I work on stuff, but rather than me reading all of that text that's there on an incident and summarizing it, there's an agent. I mean, it's an AI agent, but it's an assistant for me, and they're helping me do it. I guess, again, from a developer standpoint, I guess this is where Ishan and I are a big advocates of things like, text to flow, text to code,
Oh yeah.
text to app. I think these sort of features that are coming out with the GenAI capabilities, we love it. I mean, for a developer like me, and if I don't remember how to write a glide Ajax call, and I guess I keep forgetting it, I guess most must
yeah,
happen
it
with other
happens with
coaches
Yeah,
as
it
everyone.
well.
has
So
been very challenging. Glide Ajax is
Isn't it?
still, it itches whenever we have to write the Glide Ajax. Totally agree with you.
Yeah, even thinking about the name of the variables. Now, if I can just ask if I can let ServiceNow decide that for me, and then for me, it's just to review and revamp and then make it available, because it just makes my life easier. Like it will at least save me, if not 100%, at least 10 to 20% of my time. Because otherwise, I would have went on Google, tried and find something, changed the name of the variable, tested it, now, if ServiceNow is doing it for me, I know because it's coming from a trusted source. ServiceNow has got their own LLM. They understand the code in itself. They know what's the better performant code as well. If I would have tried, it might have been a less performant code. I wouldn't have written things like set limits, or I may have written syntax incorrectly, even while copying up from different sources. ServiceNow
even
doing it for me is just really good.
Just
yeah,
yeah, great.
yeah,
The UA, the testing capabilities would be transformational as well. Like if what
Exactly.
you mentioned, yeah, I think that's something I would very keen or interested in to see how the test suite, the ATFs. how the AI can perform on building those test suites. That would be like would be great. Would I would say some remarkable results if AI is implemented on those areas as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's my
yeah,
thoughts.
yeah, I haven't really thought about testing. I think now maybe now assist our AI doing some testing for us, which is that sounds like a great use case too. And and yeah, I mean, I just lost my words. Sorry.
No, I think it absolutely completely agree. The regression, especially the regression factor, when you are doing the test cases, you have to think about the positive as well. But when you are a developer, your thinking, sometimes aligns within for unit test cases for the positive results. You might be able to think some of the false, sorry, the false positive. Yeah,
Yeah,
true
Yeah, yeah.
negative results. Sorry. Yeah, sorry, true negative results. But yeah, AI would be greatly helpful there as well. My
yeah, yeah. I mean, like writing a code in a. I got back with it. So writing the code in a proper format, comments up. It just gives you a in a good way. I mean, what else do you need, right? So like you can write it on your own and just give it to just format it, add comments, comes back with the right things. So that it's also helpful for the other people who are coming in later on. But yeah,
absolutely, yeah.
that's it. I think a long way to go from there.
Well
All
said.
right.
Well said.
I think we are already almost on the top of the hour. So Saqib, just to maybe one last thing, it would be any key takeaways or lessons for the audience that you'd like to share. We've been talking quite a bit, but any
I would say, like, if you guys got inspired from this video, like, it's good, but thank you very much. But take things slow. Do a pilot first. Understand the systems. Understand your audience. Understand the processes that you are implementing. That's a key. Don't get so motivated after watching this video that we will gonna buy ITSM, HRSD, ITOM, GRC all suite together and we're gonna do it in one go. I think that's one I would suggest. Like, do it strategically, and don't don't cut corners on the preparation. Like, training, governance. These are very core aspects in any ServiceNow implementation, and to take care of the platform as well. Because implementing is one thing, but for the longer run, taking care of it, I think these factors, like, governance, uh, these factors plays a long role and goes long way. So that would be my final suggestions on this area.
nice. Thank you. Aneet, do you have anything?
No, I think just reflecting back on what Saqib said, right? Trying to align ServiceNow to different industries, like different enterprise needs. So when you're sitting down with the customer and they've got multiple pain points, see where you can align or help them, or even suggest a better things to better way of implementing in ServiceNow, because I guess there are different problems and there are different ways to solve it. But if ServiceNow can, and if you've done an investment in it, why not utilize it?
Yeah, right.
Well
Service now,
said.
if service now can, yes, yes.
Ishan, how
Uh,
about yourself?
yeah, I'm with you guys. And keeping it slow, not going like a big bang. Oh, no, we can do this, we can do that. Take those baby steps. Baby steps are not as small as taking baby steps. I mean, small implementations and celebrate the quick wins.
Great. Yeah,
Yeah, right.
that's a
Yeah,
great suggestion there.
nice. All right. I think that's all that we have for today.
Awesome. It
All
was
right.
very
Thank you,
nice to have
Sakib.
you here, Shakib.
You.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
glad to be
Thank
here.
you.
Thank you very much for
Thank you for
inviting me.
answering.
I hope it was an informative session for you, everyone.
Yeah, indeed.
It
Thanks.
was. The
Thank you
fun
so much.
facts were really good. Thank you.
Thank you. I really thoroughly enjoyed having a discussion with you guys. Thanks.
Same here,
Thank
Shakib.
you.
Thank you.
All right.
Cheers. Thanks. Have a
Thanks,
nice day.
Ishan.
Cheers. Bye.
Again,
Thank you,
have a nice
everyone.
day all.
Thank you for joining.